You're listening to KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine.
The opinions and views expressed in this program do not reflect those of KUCI, its management, or the UC Board of Regents. To find out more about this talk show or other talk shows broadcasting on KUCI, log on to our website at kuci.org or check out the latest program guide.
This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Atwater Village Theater for the world premiere of Cult of Love.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Tom Amandus. Happy to be here.
And which character did you play tonight?
I play Bill. You know, Bill's the papa of a family that's grown up and fracturing, and that's a tough position to be in.
I love this piece. I thought it was fantastic. Basically, you know how A Raisin in the Sun is actually a synopsis of the black experience? I mean, all squeezed into one family. I felt this was like a synopsis of the Christian experience, all squeezed in one family.
Yeah, no, that I grew up in a very Catholic Christian home, and obviously this resonates a lot with me.
So do you think this family, even though it went through so much trauma, do you think it was positive?
I don't know. I'd have to watch the play. I'm envious of people that get to watch this because I only see it from the inside, and it's a very small window.
Well, it talked a lot about the goods and the bads. It talked about a little bit about homophobia, a little about intolerance, even amongst the Christian faith itself. It talked about some people who look down at charismania. People think it's cult and demonic possession and all that.
Yeah, I mean it's always tricky negotiating that with any family, but especially this family.
Basically, you know, a philosopher once told me that God has a really sick sense of humor. If you ever say, I'll go anywhere for you except for Africa, first thing he does, he sends you to Africa. In a sense, also, if you ask them, what is love? I want to see what real love is. You would see a very bizarre form of love if you want to see the real thing. I thought that's what this was about. It was a very honest, very bizarre form of love.
I don't know if I would say bizarre. I think it's a very true picture of ultimately a loving family, but a family that is broken.
I thought it was a family that's also normal too, though.
Oh yeah, but I think that's fairly normal.
Once again, I really loved it. I loved your acting in it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Tom Jun15.
Great, and what did you do tonight?
I am one of the co-producers of Cult of Love with the I Am a Theater Company, and I'm very, very excited about the show and how much of a labor of love it was to put this thing on. So many people, so many hands, so many favors and hours of really hard work for many, many months, and I really am excited for everyone to see it. Very, very excited.
So question, why did you decide to do this piece?
Well, my family is very much like this family in the play, and so it holds a very special place to my heart because a lot of the tales that are being told on the stage are relatable to me, but I also think very relatable to people who grew up with any kind of interesting family dynamic. And I think it packs a really fast punch, and that's what I think is so exciting, is that it can give so much in so little time. And I think a lot of people are going to really flip over it. And the work being done is exquisite.
First of all, I love the piece. I thought it was a lot like, you know how The Raisin in the Sun was actually a synopsis of black culture squeezed into one family?
Right.
I felt this was kind of a synopsis of the Christian culture squeezed into one family.
You bet. Absolutely, I would agree with that. And I think it's very universal, because a lot of Christian families could relate, but I was talking to someone a second ago, and he was like, well, even Jewish families can relate. And I think any family can relate, because there's just something about growing up and becoming older as children and dealing with your parents and dealing with your siblings as adults and how it all spirals and the relationships change and the dynamics are weird, and I think that's how everyone can kind of relate to this story.
I once spoke to a philosopher, and he said that God has a really sick sense of humor. If you wanted to ask someone, what's love? Tell me what love is. I want to experience it. I want to see real love. You can see it actually actually something very bizarre, somebody you might not expect.
Yeah, I would agree. It's something you definitely would not expect. And I think this is a great example of what you just said. It's a great way to put it. I love that.
Okay. Once again, I really enjoyed the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Come and see the show.
Hi, my name is Ashley Mark, and I'm here with...
Hi, Amy Rosoff Davis. I am a co-producer of this play, and this is our last play in the Seven Deadly Sins series. We're so excited about it. We're so thrilled to be working with Leslie again. And it's an incredible production that I think everyone can relate to because it's family and love and the challenges that go with growing up and differences and, yeah.
So question, why did you decide to produce this?
Well, I'm a founding member of this theater company, so it's partly my baby too, and we all take turns doing stuff within the theater company. I've been in 3 of Leslie's Seven Deadly Sins. I was in Cinephilia, Accidental Blonde, and Assistants, and I actually went to New York with Assistants and did it at Playwrights Horizon, so I really felt like I fulfilled my role as an actor with these plays, and I wanted to branch out and produce one as well.
I hear this was the culmination of 10 years. Is that true?
Yes, well, so the Seven Deadly Sins series, we did the first 6 early on, and then Leslie's been so successful that we have not been able to find the time with her and make it work with us to do the last one. So this is the last installment of these 7 plays, but there was a 10-year span from when we started doing them till now.
I thought this was beautiful. I kind of thought it was kind of like a synopsis of the Christian experience. In a sense, like, you know how Raising the Sun was a synopsis of the black experience, all in one family? This was kind of a synopsis of the Christian experience, all in one family.
I totally agree, and I think everyone can touch on it, even if you're not religious. If you are religious, I think the music brings out a spiritual experience. You feel like you're in church, or you feel like just touched by the music and the power of music. And whether or not you're religious, I think you can feel something so deeply and spiritual from this play. Whatever your reaction to it is, you feel something.
I've listened to a lot of Christmas music. I've never heard any of these songs before.
Well, I'm a Jew, so I don't even know any of them. But yeah, they are religious songs or Christian stories and So yeah.
Interesting. So you being Jewish, what's your take on this? Is it you feel it's honest Christianity experience in a sense from an outsider's point of view? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair?
I do think it's fair, and I think actually the bottom line is that you relate to it from your family. So coming from a Jewish family, everyone has their stuff. It doesn't matter your religion, and I think that's kind of the part of the play too, is that it's okay to be who you are, and your family is your family, but you can believe different things.
Well, I love the performance. I thought you guys did a fantastic job bringing us to the stage. Yeah, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashley Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Kelleher Walsh, and I'm playing Ginny in Cult of Love. It's just an incredible play. It's fabulous. It's about basically a family that on Christmas Eve that goes through a complete breakdown. But it's very funny and filled with love and songs, and just really a feeling of both connection and where things go off the rails.
And which character did you play again?
I play Ginny. Ginny is a mom that wants her family to survive, and she wants them to realize that life is short and that you need to love each other.
Yeah, your character wasn't your typical, Carol Brady type character. It was very complex. It was actually going through a lot of trauma, a lot of trials, and in a sense, she was the cause of some of it also.
Yes, that's true. But, life is hard. People do the best they can, and, I love playing somebody who is trying to do the best they can. You know, it's not easy to be in a family and to give birth to a family in these times. You know, it's a very hard time to be a mother. You know.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of a synopsis of the Christian experience, kind of like the same way a Raising the Sun was a synopsis of the Black experience. It all squeezes into one family.
Yes, that's true. The fact is that I think that this country, and this is sort of my political take on it, but I mean, I think this country has a lot of feelings about where we all came from. You know, like the beginning of this country comes from a lot of religious and very Christian background, a very severe Christian background. But, you know, it's also made us a really great nation too at the same time. So how do we deal with the complexity of that and the fact that people are so fractious with it, you know, so many different strains and ways of thinking in one family. I mean, just having Trump as president and you go back for Thanksgiving or Christmas and you have to do this incredible argument with your family because they voted for Trump and you didn't. There you go. You know, I mean, right then and there, you've got a tremendous complexity going on. And I think that that's happening all over America right now.
And I think another reason why there's so many denominations out there is because Christians can't get along with themselves, you know.
Yes, but that's true with every religion. It's not just Christians. It's true with the Jews. It's true with the Muslims. It's true with everybody. You know, people are meant to have variation. Variation is a really good thing. But when people are intolerant of variation, then you've got wars, you know?
You know, I was once told by a philosopher that God has a really sick sense of humor. If you ever ask him about love, show me what real love is, you will see a very sick version of what love is, because that's what real life is like. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, well, that's a very complicated question, and that would require, like, many, many philosophers talking about that. I couldn't boil it down to one thing, but I do think that the word love is packed with a lot of power. And I think that one of the things that is forgotten with the word of love, it's not possessiveness. It's mindfulness. It's really understanding where other people come from. It's having patience. It's having a sense of community. It's having a sense of, like, maybe even sacrificing some of your own ego in order to really see what's going on. So that's my take on it.
Well, I love this play. I thought it was very honest. It was very dramatic. It was very emotional. It talked about everything under the sun that plagues people: mental illness, demonic possession, homosexuality, homophobia. It talked about everything and painted in a collage. Again, respectful. In general, respectful. So I thought it was just very well done.
Yeah, I mean, she's an amazing writer. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, she does not pull any punches, and she gets right into the thick of it. And I just so deeply admire her for her ability to do that, because it takes a really brave human being to do that.
I love the performance tonight. I loved you, and also thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Melissa Stevens. I play Evie, and Leslie Headlands play Cult of Love, and it's amazing. Oh, Evie, she's like, it's so hard. It's like she's the outsider but the insider, if that makes sense. That's a really bad description, but I mean, she's kind of me when I go home to my family. And, well, I don't want to say my judgments about her, but, like, I think she's fantastic, but that's my take on her. Ooh, I feel bad. I don't know if I did a good one.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
They'll expect to Graham, help me. What should they expect to see when they come to see Cult of Love?
An orchestra of chaos with acting at the center.
He's much better with the words. That was great. Graham's in the play. Good job.
Basically, I agree with it. Basically, the music was well orchestrated. It had a lot of stereotypical images of Christians, because again, I'm not sure if it's justified or not. You know, a little bit about intolerance, especially the character you played. A little bit about about acceptance. Bizarre, because it was like they didn't really not accept you. You seemed to be welcome and all that, but in the sense sometimes they said they didn't accept you.
Yeah, it was very overt. It was very overt. It's sort of that sort of subtle, quiet, non-acceptance, which I think a lot of people can relate to when they go home, of like, oh, we love you, but underneath it, they're kind of like, well, we're judging you.
You know, I was once told by this philosopher that God has a really sick sense of humor. If you ever want to say something like, show me love, show me what really love's about, he would do this, but it would be kind of in a twisted way. Show you the good side, the bad side. A lot of suffering. It's not what you expect, but I think this is what he would show you.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's great. Graham, do you have anything? I'm not great at this. I'm not great. Hi, thank you. I have to go say hi to my
I love your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
My name is Graham Sibley. Thank you for coming and supporting our theater company and this show. We're very excited to premiere the world premiere of Leslie Headland's Cult of Love. This play is a real orchestra of sounds and actors and movement, and I hope people can come see it.
And which character do you play?
My character his name is James, and he's born again. He's a born again Episcopalian.
Is he, broken?
No, I don't think he's broken. I think his pain is he's found spirituality to cover his pain, and I think that as I think many people who find solace in Christianity, I think he finds real solace there, and I think he believes in what he's saying, and he believes in his relationship with his wife, and he's convicted to the end.
I really love the piece. I thought it was actually a mosaic of basically the Christian life, the good and the bad. Again, obviously, when you say it wasn't realistic, you're squeezing the entire culture into one family. And again, it shows some intolerance. It shows some homophobia. It shows some love. It shows some how should I put it? It shows politeness. When love can be overcome with politeness, opposed to being genuine love, sacrificial, and all of that. Sure. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think this play is about the love that we have for our family, and how that changes over the decades, and how spirituality is at the fiber of many of these relationships. It's the core central thing that people are first introduced to, brings them together, marriages, funerals, births, and this is an exploration of how those relationships can deteriorate through their conviction and the belief that they have. This play is exploring pride, and I think everybody in this play has strong convictions which they believe fully, and when those things are when they're all put in the same room together, it's a cocktail of chaos, a beautiful chaos that at the end I think is clearly defined as family.
I was once told by someone philosophical, God has a really sick sense of humor. if someone were to tell me, I want to know the meaning of love, this would tell you the meaning of love. But it would be in a really sick way. It would show you the real truth, the good side, the ugly side, and what is love and what really isn't love.
That's right. I think you're right. I think family's complicated. Families are super complicated, and love is this thing that people feel like they have to express, even though they don't want to. And I think love is a very complicated emotion, and I think that this play explores that in the family dynamics. And Leslie is such a brave artist. She's such a brave, courageous writer, and everybody up on stage is really bringing a lot of themselves. This ensemble has known each other for, some of us have known each other for 20 years, and so that fiber of family is very real. It's very real. We have real love. We have real animosity. We have real relationships with these people, and that's what this play explores, and we're able to do it on stage.
Well, I actually love the performance. I loved you in it also.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with?
I'm John Lavelle. I'm a company member of IAMA, and I'm currently playing Mark Dahl in Leslie Headland's Cult of Love, directed by Annie Tipp at the Atwater Village Theater. My take on Mark? I feel like he's the voice of reason if it speaks to some people, and for good and for bad. I think he has a crisis of faith and a crisis of commitment and faith, both God and in his family. So it's a really through the course of the night, I try to come to terms with both those crises, and I don't know if it happens. And a crisis of marriage. I have a few crises going on.
If my viewers decide to come out and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
I think they should see really great ensemble work, fantastic writing. It's just directed like jazz, where everyone's, no one drops the ball, and we're all there for each other. And people who really love each other on stage. It's a true ensemble. Some of us know each other for 15, 16 years. So to finally get on stage with some of these people who've been my friends for almost 2 decades, it's just, that in itself is a joy. So yeah, that's a real benefit of it. So yeah, I hope people come out and see it. And it's an important play, and I think it subversely deals with a lot of topics that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, actually, I love the piece. I thought it was fantastic. It dealt with a lot of idiosyncrasies, a lot of interesting characters and all that. And again, it kind of took all the stereotypes about Christians, put them all in one piece, the good and the bad, and dealt with them honestly.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has so much respect, even for the people who might be thought villainous. When you have an actor like Graham Sibley and Christine, they're able to find the humanity and love of their own characters and love of the people we're trying to represent. And a lot of this is very biographical for Leslie, and we want to help tell her story with all the love we got. Yeah, love is used a lot, but it's really true. I think that's a really good thing. There are stereotypes, but it's not done with a callous hand. Yeah.
I also once told by a philosopher, God has a very sick sense of humor. If you ever say something like, I'll go anywhere for you except for Africa, first thing he does is he sends you to Africa. In the same way, if they say, if you say, show me love, show me what real love is like, if he does, suddenly you see suffering, you see people who are basically sick, you see a lot of strange things you weren't expected to see. I think that's basically what I saw today at this play.
No, that's great. I mean, I think it's great if people could take away anything they want. Really, their relationship with their own faith, their relationship with their family, the relationship with themselves. Because faith's not just about religion. Faith is about a lot of things. So to have that takeaway is great. Yeah.
Okay. Once again, I really loved your performance. I loved you in it too. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with?
I'm Christine Woods. I'm with IAMA Theater Company, and this is our premiere night for Cult of Love, Leslie Headland's new play, and it went great. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
Oh, good.
So which character did you play?
I played Diana Dahl, the youngest member of the Dahl family. I think that Diana, I love her a lot. I think that she is She's 9 months pregnant. She has a baby. I think she's experiencing some postpartum depression, and I think that she's a little mentally ill, but I think that she loves her family very much and is just a little misguided in the way she treats some of them. She loves the Lord.
Yeah, I'm told that like 1 in 80 people are actually born handicapped. So again, being born autistic, epilepsy is actually the most common form of birth defect there is. In fact, Prince was actually epileptic.
Oh yes,
So,
I knew that.
Yeah. So basically, I thought your character was very honest because there'll be no pretense in her character.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that she had these very, very clear set of beliefs, but I don't think that they, and I think the way that the playwright approached her is that, she had a lot of respect for her beliefs, even though they may or may not be what she, agreed with. And I think that who she was as a religious person was very separate from who she was as someone born with some mental illness or disability. I think that I can really appreciate that the two were separate.
Yeah, I looked at this play. You know how A Raised in the Sun was like a synopsis of the black experience, all squeezed into one family? I feel this was a synopsis of the Christian experience, all squeezed in one family. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a really, really great point. I think that you're right. I think that it's definitely a snapshot into like a contemporary Christian home where, so much now, so many people are struggling with their faiths of origin and trying desperately to create a new community. And it's a beautiful thing because I think it's challenging people to grow and change and shift their ideas. But it can be very difficult when you go back home and you really have to face the people that you are trying to remove yourself from. And so I do think that is right. I do think that this is very much a snapshot of the contemporary Christian home that's kind of evolving and maybe falling apart a little bit for the better, perhaps. I don't know.
I was once told by a philosopher that God has a really sick sense of humor. If you ask God, I want to see what real love is like, I honestly feel you'll see something very messy, something ugly at times, something sacrificial at times. It would not be what you expect, though. I think you would see something like from what you see from this family.
Absolutely. I think that this is a very honest portrayal of how hard it is to love someone's entire being. I think that people are good and bad together, and I think that this play really challenges that and is effective in showing that people aren't all good or all bad. In fact, they're just trying, But I do think that it's very real. It's very real, and I appreciate that.
I really love your performance. Again, playing someone who is mentally disturbed, at the same time giving it a soul, at the same time being honest, is very challenging, and I really thought you did a real tour de force tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Thank you for coming. It means a lot to us.
Okay. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Tina Huang. How are you? Born in Texas, raised in New York City in the Lower East Side, and now I'm in Los Angeles working hard.
And which character do you play tonight?
I play Pippa Ferguson in The Cult of Love by Leslie Headland, directed by Annie Tipp, and I just love every moment of it. I am part of the cult. I've joined the cult.
So what's your take on that character?
My take is she's there to witness. She's a witness, like the whole thing is almost like a meditation on witnessing things, right? And so she's there trying to absorb her partner's surroundings and what made her partner and how to make her partner whole by confronting this whole thing, like her family and the past traumas and all that. So, yeah, Pippa's it's almost like she's the tool to wake her partner. Do you know what I mean? Get woke. but in the same time, she sees that these people are whole people as well, and it's not like she needs to detach from them, but they're loving in their own way as well. So it's like every family, right?
I love this piece. First of all, I thought it was kind of like, you know how Raising the Sun showed basically the black experience? Trying to, all of it, trying to squeeze it in one family. Yeah. This was the same way. It showed the Christian experience, good and bad, squeezed into one family.
Right, and it's really interesting being the outside character that comes in, that lives a very liberal, different life, and I come in with all these preconceived notions, and I realize, oh, they're whole people as well. And it's also interesting being a person of color that comes into this white Connecticut household, and it's like just such a different culture, like breaking into song, playing guitar, tambourining. That's just not something Pippa comes from, or personally as Tina the actor comes from. So it definitely an interesting experience in that way, has another cultural twist to it as well. Yeah.
You know, I was once told by a philosopher that basically God has a really sick sense of humor. If you say to him, show me what love really is like, you will be seeing the most bizarre thing. You'll see sacrifice, that's what I thought this play was about. You saw love in a really bizarre way, but very honest and truthful.
Yes. Love, you know, we've all been trained to think that love is one way, it's flowers and singing, like we actually is in the play. There's a quote that Rachel says. But, you know, when you really experience unconditional love, you realize it's totally conditional. I mean, there's all these other things happening, and it's complicated and layered. So, yeah, I think that's what real love is. These are people that would die for each other. That's real love, you know? They're the ones that'll go to the hospital.
Well, I really loved it. I love the show tonight. I loved you, and also thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming. We're glad to share it with the world.
Cult of Love will be playing at the Atwater Village Theater from May 19th to June 24th. For more information, go to www.iamatheater.com.